it's Marie from Pear Tree Paper Crafts, and I'm back today with another 12 by 12 process video for you. I'm using my Lottie Loves Paper kit again today. Just to remind you, I got the normal embellishment kit, and I got the 12 by 12 papers, and I got some of the extra embellishments as well. So this was one of the papers that was included in the kit, this lovely hexagon paper. So I decided that I would cut it up, and I would cut out all the coloured hexagons because I wanted to combine it with that lovely dotty paper as well. I started by doing it with my scissors, and then I changed my mind and decided to use my craft knife, and it did work out much quicker. But I don't make you watch it all. I've got all the little hexagons there though now. They're all cut out, and I'm going to arrange them in sort of a rainbowy colour. And I start by doing it vertically on the page, because that was the original idea, because I was using a scrap lift that I saw on the Scrap Squad, which is a Facebook group. But then I decided I would stick to this idea of having a vertical line of embellishments as was on the scrap lift, but I would not keep it vertical. I do in fact turn it round and make the whole layout go horizontally instead. So I decided to do it like that, and I thought actually that worked better because I can tuck the 3 photographs in there behind those hexagons. I decided to have a few pop up there just at the bottom, 2 or 3 up at the top as well, just to add a little bit more interest to the page. And then I go ahead and start cutting them, sorry, not cutting them, because start sticking them down and trying to place them where I want them. This was actually really tricky, and I don't make you watch it all because it did take me quite a while to sort of decide that I wanted all the hexagons pointing in the same direction as each other, just for some continuity really, but that I wanted them overlapping and I did want them irregular, so it did take me quite a while. So this is me just sort of starting to pop a few of them down. In the end, I give up with the tape and I go with the wet glue instead for sticking them down, because it just seemed to work, and it just seemed to be so much more effective, and I could just slide them around a bit if they didn't quite land in exactly the right position. Doing them roughly was really quite simple, but actually precisely getting them where I want them and the right colours next to the right colours was quite tricky. And I do play with this for a considerable length of time, because this is the bit that I want to get right. I have been doing a lot of monochromatic layouts recently, so this is quite a shift away for me in terms of colour. But those 3 photographs there are of my son in the forest one day, and we'd found a log and he was balancing, and he was learning to balance. I think he was about 3 years old at the time. Yeah, I don't normally do, I don't say I don't normally do, I've been tending to do more monochromatic recently, so this is a nice change for me to do a real rainbowy coloured layout. I knew I wanted that spotty paper as the background, but I also knew that I wanted to use this lovely bright hexagonal paper, and I wanted to do something with it rather than just using it as a backdrop, so I decided, like I say, to chop it up. So like I say, I don't make you watch all of this as I'm trying to position all these little hexagons in the right place, and we will cut very shortly to you seeing it all stuck down and ready to go and ready to be embellished with them all pretty much where I want them. Like I say, I played with that for quite a long time. So there they are in the position I've decided on. Oh dear, I knocked the table. And I've just trimmed off the edge there. And now I'm just trying to think about what I'm going to do with the photographs, if I'm going to back them, if I'm going to matte them at all. Anyway, I loved this gold in terms of for the title. And I decided to call the layout You're Just Wonderful, because that is genuinely what I think of my son. I'm probably slightly biased, but he is just wonderful. So as you can see there, I've got that word wonderful. It's one of the Indigo and Ivy title words, I think they're called. And I've also tucked that little golden heart in there as a bit of interest within the hexagons. I've also chosen 3 of the gold acetate words. So we've got lovely, create memories, and I think the top one says what a lovely day. What I'm doing now is I'm just matting my photograph onto some vellum. On this layout, I don't actually mat on anything else. I just leave it on the vellum because there's enough colour going on in that strip of hexagons, and with the spotty background and with the bits of ephemera that I do decide to use, that actually it doesn't need anything else. And I didn't want to take away from those photographs because that red on his jacket matches perfectly with the red hexagons. So I'm just using some wet glue to stick down the title Wonderful and to stick down those acetates. Whereas you can't see them there, but you'll see them much better on the close-ups at the end of the video. And then I'm just going to tuck these in now. I didn't think this through properly, so I'm just using a little spatula there to lift those hexagons ever so slightly so I can get the photographs in. I did not leave myself quite enough space at the top of the hexagons in order to be able to tuck them in properly, but I do get them in the end. And this is one of the few layouts actually that I don't put any adhesive foam on the back of anything to prop it up. It's quite a flat one, but I'm really happy with it. So I start by putting some of those white little foam alphas on because I was going to write "You're just so wonderful." I couldn't quite fit it in, so I'm changing my mind and just going to have "You're just wonderful." And I changed my mind and went to some multicoloured little alphas from the Pink Paisley, I think it's the Whimsical collection, it's the Whimsical letters. And then I'm just taking a little full stop there and turning it into apostrophe by cutting out a little section of it, because I can't not have my titles being grammatically accurate. So yeah, I do prefer those multicoloured alphas there. And the last thing I'm doing now really is just popping in a few little bits of ephemera. So I've got a tag that I've cut down, a couple of words. The blue one at the top left says perfect weather, and I think I stick another one down in that bottom, at the bottom right, that says lovely day or something like that on it. And I'm just adding some blue twine, blue embroidery thread, I suppose you would call it, to that tag and winding it round. I do decide to put a few extra flowers in here, just because they're so pretty, and I wanted to highlight a bit more of the blue from the photographs. And then I'm just adding some bits of glue up at that top section there, just to make sure that everything stays put. And I then decide to just add a couple more down the bottom. And there it is. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this layout today, and if you did, give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to my channel. And here comes some close-ups. Thanks for watching.